In this video, we'll teach you how freight brokers get shippers and what steps you can take immediately to close more shippers this month. I'm Benjamin Kowalski with Freight 360, where we provide the latest transportation sales tips and training videos to help you reach your goals faster. If you're new here, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button to be notified when we drop our weekly videos. And all of the links and details can be found in the description box below. For more free content, please be sure to check out our website, freight360.net, to access our entire library of content. Whether you're new to this industry or you're a veteran freight broker, everyone needs to get more shippers. So, how do we get shippers? Well, is this a specific enough question to even answer though? Because maybe you're asking, how do you get shippers to say yes? Maybe you're struggling with how to locate and identify the right leads to contact. And maybe you're in a stage of paralysis by analysis, something I'm very familiar with. Overthinking something to the point of inaction. You've literally thought yourself into a place that is the mental block to actually picking up the phone at all. Well, we're going to answer all of those questions by giving you the processes that form the foundation of freight brokerage sales. Once you understand each step in the process, you'll be able to increase your effectiveness in each of them. Because when we mix them all together, it becomes next to impossible to improve any of them individually, because we just don't know what is working and what isn't working. For example, most brokers will spend 5 to 10, maybe even 15 minutes searching the web for the perfect lead. Then they'll read through the website, the bios, the LinkedIn pages, etc. And after all of this, they finally pick up the phone to make the call and no answer. Dud. Now what do we do? Well, since we're rather discouraged that our last 15 to 20 minutes wasn't what we'd hoped for, our hesitancy to pick up the phone and try again goes up, it increases. Meaning that we now are combating mental resistance and avoidance. And guess where that shows itself? In the very next lead search. Everyone's been here. I've been there myself. And that's where we start to spend just a little bit more time researching to push off making that next phone call, right? And it works. We convince ourselves that we're finding better leads, that quality matters over quantity. And it does to some degree. So we feel better and we make less calls. The reality though is that we do need both quality and quantity. And that's why we split locating shipper leads and calling them into two different tasks. I'm going to repeat this because it's very important. You should not be searching for leads during your dialing time. Have time set aside in your calendar for lead generation and for calling. The main reason is that if you aren't hitting your call numbers, the main driver of success in this industry, you won't be able to blame anything else for it. You either did your calls or you didn't, because when you have a list of leads in front of you, those are your only two options. Now, back to the first task in the process, lead generation. You should have at least 300 leads before you start dialing. The more you have, the less valuable each one will feel to you. At the beginning of your career, you're going to need to make a lot of mistakes to learn. We don't want there to be like an emotional cost to making those mistakes, i.e. like the value of the lead. And the less leads you have prepared, the more you will have a scarcity mindset. Meaning when we only have 5 or 6 leads, we tend to baby them and feel like they're really important, and we build up this huge emotional thing that like, oh, we have to do really well because we only have a few of them. Well, that goes away when you have a lot more of them. And that's the best part about our industry. Leads are everywhere, and there's virtually no cost to them except your time. You should easily be able to find 300 leads within a few days to a week. For more details on what websites to use, job titles for points of contact, and other tips on getting shipper leads, check out our video, How to Find Shippers. Now that we've got all of our leads prepared, let's discuss what we'll be saying and how we'll be presenting our brokerage. Most freight brokers at the beginning of their journey make calls that sound pretty close to this. Hi, is John there? This is Ben from Acme Freight Brokerage. Hey John, I was calling to let you know we offer a wide variety of services from full truckload to LTL, drayage, 24-hour service, and we've been in business 10 years. Then silence. They're waiting for the prospect they called to just be so impressed that they stop what they're doing and send us business immediately. Or we expect that they will take the lead in the conversation from there and just tell us everything we've ever wanted to know about them. As if announcing ourselves and everything we believe is enough to establish a relationship with somebody we don't know at all. To be honest, don't be discouraged. Everybody starts here, or somewhere close to it. Here are some helpful tips for better calls and to help you actually get the shippers you'll be contacting. You'll need something to lead with in a sales call. For example, you should already know your brokerage's competitive advantage. Maybe you're strong in intermodal and drayage. Maybe it's in shipping building materials with flatbeds. It could be produce, and vans, or reefers. What specifically it is doesn't really matter. What is important is that you have one. For brokers working in an established brokerage, I suggest you spend some time with other successful brokers on your team or in your company and borrow theirs until you have one. For example, I trained under a broker that shipped building materials and finished wood products. I booked his loads, learned his carriers, and developed an understanding of their products and standard operating procedures. So it was the most logical industry niche for me to start with. My calls went from announcing myself and vague details about our brokerage to something like this. Is John around? Hey, good morning, John. Hey, was reaching out to see if we might be able to match up some of our deliveries with possibly your backhauls. Yeah, we ship a lot of van loads from Acme Finished Hardwood in Atlanta, and a good portion of their loads are delivering in your area. And these guys are really just looking for some reliable backhauls to get them back home. What's the likelihood we might be able to match some of those loads up with some things you might have heading in that direction? Sounds a lot better, right? For more questions and script ideas, check out our video on freight broker cold calling scripts. Now, for new brokers that are starting their own brokerages, you may not have anyone to learn directly from, or have your first customer that you can leverage into your second, third, and fourth. So we suggest you start with something that you're interested in, or an industry that you have previously work experience in. That's the best thing about shipping. There are customers and prospects that ship just about any interest you can imagine, whether it's shipping concert chairs and equipment to country music concerts, or hockey sticks and helmets, baseball bats, basket weaving, electric guitars to cooking. If you have an interest, a hobby, or a profession that you previously worked in, there's a company that works in that niche. And why does this work? It works incredibly well because we speak so much more passionately and enthusiastically about the things we're interested in. Big surprise. And how much you care is key in sales. Also, you'll likely have a lot to say about their actual products, why you've used them, why their products are better than their competitors. That's the special sauce that helps you get shippers faster. For more on this, check out our group coaching program. We designed it specifically to help independent brokerage owners and freight brokers learn and grow in a collaborative environment. Because the hardest part about being new is that we don't know what we don't know. And that's what we're here to help with. Because remember, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right.